All right. We are doing. I thought about what to play today, and I said to myself, "There's no games. Probably got no games. We could check out Blastoise and Pokemon Unite. I'd rather die. Let's do a household chores tier list. Okay, we're gonna do a household chores tier list. We've got love it therapeutic, don't mind it, neutral, I'd rather not. Many of these are kind of in the I'd rather not tier, by the way. But that's okay. You got to evaluate them relative to themselves, not relative to playing a video game or something like that. Can you zoom in a little, please? Okay. So demanding. So demanding. Just give me 1 sec. Can I zoom in a little bit, please? How about that? I don't mean to brag, but I do have an associate's diploma in software engineering. I know the Google hotkey, the Google Chrome hotkey in order to zoom in. That's probably a little too much. Well, you know what? Maybe it's not. Yeah, maybe this is better. That's good enough. You can still pretty much see everything here. Okay. So let's see what we got here in the chores list. I do, especially the more, with the baby in particular. Kate does so much of the baby stuff. I've taken on some more household responsibilities than I had when I was in university. I basically took the garbage out once a week, and then did the dishes a couple of times a week, and just complained all the time. It's so juvenile. I can't believe I'm losing it when I think back to being in college. Nobody ate out because we were all such big fans of The Dark Knight. But no, because it was expensive, and this is like pre-delivery food, except for pizza, basically, in Chinese. 7 people using the dishes, 2 to 3 meals a day, and we would do the dishes like 4 times a week maximum. It's crazy, man. What the heck were we thinking? I apologize. We haven't got a lot of momentum going here, but you'd see someone would cook scrambled eggs for breakfast. They'd put water in the pan, and it would just sit on the stove for like 2 days, and you'd be like, "What are you doing with that pan?" They're like, "It's soaking. I don't want to clean it right when the eggs are done, because then I got to scrape the egg matter off. You got to soak it first." And you're like, "Yeah, it's soaking. It's soaked in freaking fungus now." Anyway, let's see what we got. I got to use poetic license here a little bit. This is sweeping, checking the mail. I'm assuming this is checking the mail, bringing in the mail. Clorox, disinfecting wipes. I guess that's disinfecting. Taking out the garbage. Cleaning the fridge. Feeding your pets or giving them water, maybe. Maybe it's both. This is Emerald Lagasse, cooking. This is cleaning up pet waste, giving your dog a bath. Mowing the lawn, mopping. This is not doing the dishes. I think this is drying the dishes, and this one's washing the dishes. Paying the bills. Cleaning out the eavestrough. Cleaning your windows. Pledge is like dusting, essentially, right? Like this is furniture, duster, and oh, that's not a dishwasher. That's a drying rack, man. That's oh, this is okay. We can say this is dishwasher based. It looks like a drying rack to me. Maybe it's a dishwasher. Okay, fair enough. I don't know what this is. Is this like chopping firewood? Do you know what it's just a bunch of sticks, pretzel rods, eating cinnamon, burning incense, building a fire, gathering sticks from the lawn. I don't know this. We'll probably put this in refuse. Yard work, maybe washing the car, gardening, landscaping work, laundry, recycling. We'll call this making the bed and changing the sheets, cleaning the bathroom, vacuuming. Oh, this is gardening. This is I've never, yeah, some of these don't really apply to me. Um, Watering plants, in-home organizing, and weeding. Okay. So there's like 4 different gardenings on here, but either way, let's give it a try. Sweeping. Uh, I'm going to make perhaps a bit of a controversial statement. And my controversial statement is that sweeping is an antiquated Victorian form of cleaning. Uh, and as far as I'm concerned, once we invented the vacuum cleaner, there was no need for this anymore. That's not to say we don't own brooms, because you still occasionally maybe you drop a glass or something like that, and then you got to use the broom in order to pick up the glass because you don't want to vacuum a bunch of glass up into the vacuum. But like, unless you've got a hard stone floors and you live with 3 evil stepsisters, like, I don't think you should be interacting with this chore on a regular basis. I would say sweeping for me. And it has another inferior task, by the way, or another inferior part of it. How are we still in the broom and dustpan meta, where like the dustpan doesn't get all the dirt from the dirt pile on the first one? So you got to put the dustpan, it's like you're making it as flush as possible. You sweep it in, but you only get like 70% of it. So then you got to like shake it down. Then you repile the dirt and you do it again. And you go and you do it again. And you like, it takes like 7 cycles to get to the point where you can actually get all the dirt into the dustpan. So, I mean, I just think that we've gotten past this, is my opinion. I think we've gotten past this. Except when you break a glass, I put this in the I'd rather not tier. Plus, when you go, I just don't like the feeling or the sound of a straw broom on a concrete floor. On wood, it's not so bad. On tile, I guess, it's not so bad. But on concrete, it makes me feel weird, man. That being said, we do have brooms. But Kate got these brooms that they're almost like they have like a plastic bottom instead of straw, and they make like a much more flush seal with the ground when you're sweeping. I think it's a little bit better. But okay, picking up the mail, I wouldn't say I love it. Like, I wouldn't say this is a chore that I enjoy. But it is so easy that it's like not even a chore, quite frankly. Like, you just, if you go for a walk on your way into their house, you just go to the mailbox. No big deal. The only thing that's annoying is seeing if there's a very important letter in there. That's about it. Like, this is easy mode, man. You get spam, you just toss it in the recycling bin. It's no big deal. Clearly that's sending birth announcements, thank yous, etc., etc. Well, in that case, I honestly might even, if we're talking about like sending mail, I send in my tax installments to the Canadian Tax Authority once a month via snail mail, stamp and envelope. I find it therapeutic. You write the check out. We have envelopes. We got stamps. I put the check in the envelope. I seal it up. I write the return address. I write their address. Then I get to walk to the mailbox. I put it in the mailbox. I find it kind of therapeutic, to be honest. So you know what? I'll put it up here. I'll put it up here. Clorox disinfecting. I don't think it's therapeutic, but I don't mind it. I don't disinfect like all that much. But, oh, hello, Tomo. I don't disinfect all that much, but, I mean, it's not a difficult task. They've really got it down to a science, you know? Like a disinfecting spray plus a rag is a little bit more annoying, but just a tube that you can pull stuff out of and maybe you wipe down the handle of your shopping cart or something like that is fine. It's just fine, I guess, is where I stand. Taking out the garbage. Now, this is probably the chore that I do the most in my life. Especially once you have a baby, you know, the amount of garbage they generate is staggering. Like, generate one thin garbage bag every 3 days just of diapers and stuff like that. Hey, refuse, get it? Yeah, it is refuse. So I would say I'd probably end up dealing with garbage stuff like once every 2 to 3 days. I think it also depends on your situation. Like I've lived in places in my life where you just bag something up, put it in a can, and then take it to the end of your driveway. And I've lived in places where, you got to take an elevator down and then, walk through the bowels of a building to get to one shared garbage room where many people who live in your building won't treat it with respect and will just, we're going off. The number of times I'll walk into like a shared building's garbage room and the people literally just leave broken furniture in it. You have to pay for yourself to get the junk removed. You can't just literally put things that you don't want that are not garbage. It's got to fit in the trash compactor, or they'll put like a shitty sofa or something like that, or a chair that's like missing half the upholstery. They put it in there. I just thought maybe someone would want it. Yeah, no, you didn't. You didn't want to call 1-800-GOT-JUNK and pay $40 to get this piece of garbage taken out. So instead you thought, hey, let's just leave this, let's let the building manager take care of it. We live in a society, okay, anyway. All in all, taking out the garbage is not that bad. For the most part, you take a bag down, you throw it in a big compactor, you press a button, and you hope that the thing doesn't explode. I'm going to say don't mind it. It's nice because it'll either get you outside or you get to go on a nice little walk or something like that. I think it's not a difficult chore. Now, this is going to surprise you, man, because like you're going to think that I'm like joking. I actually find it therapeutic to clean the fridge. I don't think it's not always something that I love, because when you pull out a bag of, spring mix that you bought 3 months ago because you're like, I'm definitely going to eat 6 salads this week, and then you ate 1 salad and then it just turned into like green water. That sucks. But the actual, like, once you get through the first 2 minutes of cleaning the fridge, then it becomes therapeutic. You look at yourself with an honest appraisal and you say things like, am I really going to use, the last 1 centimeter of barbecue sauce or oyster sauce that is sitting in this bottle? No, let's get rid of it. Like, and it always looks so nice afterwards. And I get stressed out looking at a super full fridge. Cause when you get like a 6-pack or something like that, and you can't even find the place to put it in the fridge, I'm like, that's my cue to be like, this is all gotta go. So I'm a big believer. Like I don't clean the fridge that often, maybe like once every 3 months. But when I do it, I think it's like I turn into Marie Kondo when I do this. I'm merciless. Last time I cleaned the fridge, I had 2 bottles of mustard. Both of them were missing like 1 serving of mustard. I just threw one of them out. Be realistic with you. What I don't like is when you're cleaning out the fridge, and Kate, don't plug your ears. Sometimes there will be stuff that, and I do it too, maybe a little bit less, but I have a bigger appetite for sure. But sometimes there will be like, something in the fridge that's been there for 3 to 6 months and I've never seen Kate eat it. And then when I'm cleaning out the fridge, I'm like, hey, am I good to throw out these like Yubu sushi pockets? And then she's like, oh no, I'll use them today. And I'm like, because for 180 straight days, you looked at the Yubu pockets and said, I'm not interested. But now that there's a little risk involved, all of a sudden you're very hungry for Yubu chobap. Why don't you just let me throw it out? Why don't you? Because I'm like, it's the same when Kate like goes through clothing to figure out like what to donate for like to Value Village and stuff like that. As soon as we open the garbage bag, any shirt that I have not worn in like 3 months, it's going in. Just throw it in there, man. Donate the Dan merch. I wore the D shirt today. It is her sushi, her rules. Don't get me wrong, but I'm very merciless with the food that I put in there. And then I'm like, I'm never buying spring mix again. What is not the asshole? Oh, what is NTA? NTA is not the asshole. This is from React Court Meta. Don't worry, everyone's mad at me. Everyone's saying it's her food. Don't be mad. I'm not mad. I'm just like I get a hunger in my eyes when I start to throw stuff out from the fridge. I'll throw out shit that we like bought yesterday. I'm like, I'm never gonna eat this. I'd turn into like Thanos. I don't even. I'll like make something that's delicious, put the leftovers in the fridge. If I'm cleaning the fridge next day, I'm like, see you later, gnocchi. Not necessary. So if this is like feeding your pets, people are like, that's wasteful. Yeah, okay. It's still waste if you leave it in your fridge for 6 months and then throw it out later when it's all moldy and shit. It's just gross after that. I never waste food. All I do is let it sit in my fridge until it's completely rotten and then throw it in the garbage instead of putting it in the compost when I realize I'm not going to eat it again. Okay, if this is feeding your pets, this is also like a high tier chore simply because it's not that tough. Like once a week, I refill the cat, or Kate does, to be fair. I refill the cat's rotating food dish that rotates once a day. Once per day, I give them each a can of wet food. We refill the water dish and clean it. It's not hard. I would put this in the don't mind it tier. Trust me, we're going to get to some ones that I don't like. Yeah, plus, like, this is a chore that's not even a chore. Because I would almost think that a chore is like something you can put off. Like there are some times where I'm like lazy and I'm like, I'll just like vacuum tomorrow. But there's never a time where I'm like, I'll just not feed them wet food tonight because I'm lazy. You know, you have a responsibility to, treat your pet as I don't want to say an equal because like, come on, It's not quite at that level, but it's an honor. There you go. Now, cooking, I'm going to be straight up, and I'm not flexing. Again, some of these I'm going to dislike, okay? Cooking, love it / therapeutic. If when you're making your own recipes, or not making, but following your own recipes and not just going by HelloFresh, like it's one of the most fun chores to do. Like, if vacuuming created like a delicious eggplant parmesan after you did it for half an hour, you would probably be like, I'm going to vacuum 3 times a day. Because this is like one of the only one of these that could actually be considered a hobby. I guess gardening as well. But no one's like, my hobby is, Windex. I do know that there are people that don't enjoy cooking, and that's fine. There's household duties that I don't really enjoy either, but cooking is like the most fun for me. Because there's a little science to it, there's a little art, and you get to eat, what you made afterwards. Cleaning the kitchen after, not so bad, honestly. But you got to get in a groove, and I do have a dishwasher. So like the stuff is sauteing in the pan, you empty the dishwasher, you flip the stuff in the pan, then you load up the dirty stuff in the dishwasher, then you plate the food, and then you put the pan in the dishwasher, and you're like pretty much good to go. As long as you stay on top of it, you're good to go. So cooking, this is probably the toppest of the top tier, I would say. And then here, that's right there. I would say this looks fair to me right now. Maybe it'll get different when I'm cooking meals for a child as well. But cleaning up pet waste. I'll put this in neutral. I don't feel like I can say that it's I'd rather not. Because between Kate and myself, I would rather. There's chores that she prefers and is better at, and then there's chores that I prefer because I have a strong stomach. And I I mean, in general, if you gave me the choice between like eating a ham sandwich or cleaning up a bunch of cat poop or vomit or pee or whatever, I'll take the ham sandwich. But I don't mind it. I don't find it that gross. You just, just wash your hands afterwards. I don't have a dog. I clean up a lot of cat puke. Like, not recently, but there have been times where, like, you clean up cat puke like 4 times a week. You just, wash your hands, and then you're like, okay, it's time to eat some KFC. Bathing the pets, I don't know. Because we don't have to give the cats a bath. They're clean animals. I don't know what to do about this one. I don't know where to put it. I need to go into the Chrome inspector and just delete the image. It has no reason to exist for me. You know what? Yeah, don't rate it. I'm not even going to put it in neutral. Don't rate it. I do have to take the cats once every like 5 months to get groomed, but that's not really like a chore. That's just like 2 drives. That's not a big deal. So I'm not going to do it. Now, I have not mowed the lawn since 2007, maybe 2006. But I did mow the lawn a lot as a teenager. And I think that, to be honest, I didn't like it as a teenager, but I hated being inside. Or I hated being outside. I think as an adult, I'm putting a little bit of projection on this. I think as an adult, I would actually find mowing the lawn to be a very nice chore. Let me explain. You get to use a machine. That automatically makes it more fun. Like vacuuming is more fun than sweeping. You are outside. You get a little bit of natural vitamin D. It's like a productive walk. Now, there is one thing I don't like about it. You've got to be meticulous. You got to, like, you can't just take broad strokes, because I'm like more of an idea man or something like that. I'm not a detail-oriented guy. You got to be pretty detail-oriented, I think. I don't know, with the lawnmower, because it had like this. I guess I'm trying to think if an MP3 player existed. Yeah, they existed the last time I mowed the lawn. Here's the thing. I kind of see this a lot like shoveling snow. And shoveling snow sucks a lot. But you have headphones on, and you can listen to music or podcasts or whatever. And then mowing the lawn is just shoveling snow with a much lower risk of heart attack, I think. You would rather shovel snow than mow the lawn? That's insane. This is blowing me away. Because shoveling snow is like, every time you lift the shovel, there's like 30 pounds of snow on it. It's so exhausting. Mowing the lawn is just like it's just a spicy walk. That's badass, dude. I mean, I guess. It sucks to be sweating in the cold, though. It's like being a Finnish sauna enjoyer. Anyway, it's hard for me to place this one because I haven't done it in a long time. But I think I consider myself pro mowing. I think I would rather mow than pick up cat poop. But having not done it recently, I feel uncomfortable elevating it any higher. Mopping. Of the 2 chores that I do on a weekly basis, I need the link to this so I can do it on my stream. I can send it to you. And then you can out me for like, look at all these chores he enjoys doing but doesn't actually do as much as he should. I don't use this mop, like the school janitor mop. I use a Swiffer wet jet. So I vacuum and mop once a week. Mopping is more fun, for sure. It's just a quiet vacuum, and then there's a little button on it that shoots cleaner. I find it much more fun. So I would put this in the don't mind it. And then the flip side of that is that even though it's easy, I mean, I'm actually going to put brooming into the hate it tier, I'm realizing here. I vacuuming, I'd honestly rather not. Much like mowing the lawn, when you're vacuuming, you got to be detail oriented. You got to get all the dirt. You got to cover absolutely every single square inch. It's loud and disruptive. I don't like that I have to crank up my phone with the headphones in to the point where it says, "Are you sure you want to keep hitting this button because it could damage your ears?" And I'm like, "Yeah, otherwise I'm going to drive myself crazy just listening to over and over." I don't have carpets. Vacuuming carpet is kind of it kind of feels like you're grooming a large dog. I think it's a little bit higher tier. We got tile and hardwood. And I think it's just okay. Like it's just okay is I guess where I'm at with vacuuming. But it also takes a long time because you want to do a good job. Some of these chores, like I know you're gonna be like, you should always do a good job. But when you're taking out the garbage, it's not like, if you spend half an hour taking out the garbage and I spend 5 minutes, like the end result is the same. But if with vacuuming, what you get is what you give is what you get. So I'd rather not. I'd rather not. Plus, it's so annoying, like when you're doing the stairs and stuff like that. You gotta hold your arms up like this and then go like, and then it's got to be done, but that doesn't mean I like it necessarily. At least you get to listen to podcasts. any chore where you can listen to podcasts gets elevated for sure. Plus, with cats, you're absolutely right, or dogs, I'm sure, and kids as they get older, you really got to vacuum like constantly. Like you could, we don't, but you could vacuum once a day easily. Like we have reason to. So this is loading and unloading the dishwasher. Like I don't love it, but it's insanely easy. I don't know where to place this one. Like it feels shitty to complain about loading and unloading a dishwasher when it takes 5 minutes to do it and it saves you like half an hour. It's really like that. It's like the ultimate first world problem. I would say I certainly don't mind it. I do it 6 to 7 times a week. On average, about once a day. I'm always thankful for my dishwasher. I wouldn't say I love it. I like it more than taking the trash out, though. Like, if you just gave me the choice of if Kate was like, "Hey, we got 2 things to do. Would you rather take the trash out or unload the dishwasher?" I would be like, "I'll take the trash out." But I would only do that because I think that I would know that she would rather not have to take the trash out. She'd rather do the dishes stuff, so I'll do the trash. But if it was like a neutral party, I would choose the dishwasher for sure. And over disinfecting, I think. But feeding the pets is kind of sacred. Paying bills. I mean, this is a bit of a spicy one. It's a lot easier than it used to be in the, even like 10 years ago when you would write checks and then shove them into envelopes and mail them. You can do it like on your phone or, on your online banking platform. Refuse to do it? Okay, best of luck to you. Let me know how that works out. I also used to have some anxiety about bill paying, but that's because I was stupid and childish. I would get a notice that I had a bill. Let's just use BC Hydro, for example, which is like our electric company in British Columbia. It would be like, "Hey, your BC Hydro bill is waiting." And then you'd look at it and be like, "Okay, it's $200. It's due in 3 weeks, so I don't have to pay it right now." And then for the next 3 weeks, like every single day, I would be like, "Should I pay that? Nah, I can get it later. It's not due. Should I get it? I get that this is a first world problem. Don't get me wrong. But I would just procrastinate it. And then occasionally I would like forget and the deadline would pass. And then they'd send you, because BC Hydro is nice, they send you something that's like, hey, your bill was due yesterday, but there's like an amnesty period for a week. We're just sending you like a gentle reminder in case you forgot. And then I'm like, okay, I'm embarrassed. So, the last time that happened was probably like 5 years ago. And I just resolved whenever I get a bill, just pay it instantly. If you have the means. Like it takes less than 30 seconds to pay a bill online most of the time these days. I just, as soon as I get something, rather than being like, I'm gonna just procrastinate until it's due and just constantly keep it in my mental overhead, I'm just like, get it out. And ever since I've done that, I don't mind it. I wouldn't say I love it. It's not like when I get a bill, I'm like, awesome, I get to pay this. Whereas when I cook, sometimes I do look forward to it. But I would say I don't mind. You're missing out on the 0.02% interest. Yeah, I don't know what like the 22-day GIC rate is in Canada right now. I'm pretty sure that the 1 year rate is like 0.5%. So I don't know if you amortize that on a monthly basis. I think you're looking at. I think they're like, please just keep it in cash anyway. But here's the thing. I would rather pay bills than unload the dishwasher, just because at least when you pay the bill, you get it's like an anxiety relief. It's like something knocked off your to-do list. It's like a stress reliever. Whereas with the dishwasher, I'm just like, it's neutral. You got to do it. It's a constant cycle. Cleaning out the eavestrough, literally, I have never done it. I've never gutters, as you call them in the rest of the world that maybe is not colonial. We call them eavestroughs here. I've never lived in a house with gutters while being old enough for my parents to trust me to clean the gutters without falling off a ladder and dying. The end. Somehow this just gets done. And thank God for that. Cleaning the windows is kind of like in a similar camp for me. Like I've lived in, recently especially, I've lived in like a lot of apartment buildings. We don't clean the outside of the windows because you need to be able to fly. And I can't remember, Kate, do we even like clean the inside of our windows? I know this sounds crazy. The inside of our windows, our cleaning strategy, I think, is just don't get them dirty. I know that's maybe some forehead type advice, but like, I don't know, they just look clear. Don't you have dust? I don't know what to tell you. Like, let me look at this window. Maybe I'll clean the windows this weekend. It's one of those, I didn't notice it, but now that I look at it, I'm like, it's not dust. I don't know. It's kind of like, they look like water spots or something like that. I don't know, man. It's just grime. I have used Windex, like in my life before. I don't mind it. I like, relative to other chores, I like chores where you spray something and then wipe it off. It's like the bend and snap from Legally Blonde. It's a 2-step process. Let's put this neutral for now. I also feel like I need to say, um, I I don't want to admit it. We don't really dust very much, and I don't know if it's just because we vacuum a lot. Obviously, like upper surfaces can get dusty, but I feel like of the chores that seem so core, like vacuum, mop, clean the bathrooms, stuff like that, dusting is the least important one. Sometimes like run a rag over top of some dusty surfaces, but like I know this is going to sound like we're protesting too much, but it's not dusty. It's just not dusty. And my wife, she does have allergies. Yeah. So like the fact that we don't dust, I think is just a sign. I don't know, maybe we live in a not that dusty part of the world to begin with. Dust this middle finger emoji. Oh, come on, man. Come on. I mean, I'm not going to say that there's no dust. Like, I'm sure if I ran my finger across the computer monitor there, sure, a little dust came off. Okay, I'm not sure if the camera's picking it up that well. But I really feel like once you start to do that, you're really getting into the position where you're like, you're keeping your house with military precision or something like that. And I think that makes cleaning like a full-time job. Yeah, it's not very dry here. It's not very like sandy. I don't know if that affects dust, but yeah, it's not that dusty here. Maybe. Oh, the other thing I probably should have mentioned this. We have like 4 air filters in our house, like that are on like 24/7. Like there's an air filter in my office, there's one in the living room, there's one in our bedroom, and there's one in Kate's office, and there's one in the nursery. So that probably helps out. And there's an air filter built into the house as well that constantly swaps air from the inside outside. So now that I think about it, that might be another reason we don't really dust that much. But anyway, oh, and we clean the filters. Don't even worry. We clean the filters. So dusting, I don't know. I guess I'd rather not. I still don't know what sticks are. I don't really. Mouth, do you know what this could be? Do you think it's gathering firewood? Or like I feel like if this were raking, they would have put like old leaves or something like that. You can just tell, like, I mean, look at the amount of like outside ones. This is someone who lives on like they live in a botanical garden, but I don't know what this is. Cleaning up the yard? I don't picking up fallen limbs around the yard. If you have a big tree, you know. Yeah, is this how often does this chore happen if you have a big yard? This is weekly? Once a week, not joking. Okay, now that I think about it, like as a teenager, I think there were times where before you mow the lawn, you've got to go do a once over to make sure there's no sticks. Because if you drive over a stick with your lawnmower, it becomes like an extreme hazard to your health. So that makes sense. Looking for the sticks, not as fun as mowing. IMO. I don't know. Put it in. I'd rather not. Washing the car. Now this one is there's a psychological component to this one. I wash the car on occasion, but I just take it through like a touchless car wash. I have done With my dad, like, 2 decades ago, I've done, washing it in the driveway at home. I've also done the one where you drive it into like the bay, and then you keep pumping coins into the machine, and you do it, in that, which is fine. But I'm really like, I guess if you've got a super nice car with like special paint or something like that, you might want to wash it by hand. But otherwise, like the touchless car wash is literally like $7, something like that, and it takes less than 10 minutes, and it saves you like half an hour or longer, and also whatever like water and soap and stuff you use, which I imagine is not that much, but still. I mean, plus going through the car wash kind of fun. And then the other thing is, I don't really care if my car is dirty. Like it doesn't bother me. If there's a little bit of like bird poop on the car, who cares? So this is a chore that I consider like very unnecessary, but I simultaneously don't really mind it. What about cleaning the inside of your car? Look, it's a weird flex. My strategy for cleaning the inside of my car is that I don't let it get dirty. Which might, again, it sounds like obvious advice, but like I don't like eat potato chips in the car, and that's basically, I got to imagine that's the big one. You ever get into your friend's car? Like his mom will pick you guys up from school or something like that, and there's just food wrappers on the ground, like Michael Scott. Oh man, it's the worst. Oh, you can just throw that in the back. I hate that, man. I know some people out here are like, they're like, I do that. That's fine, like especially if you're not driving anybody else around. But like, oh man, I don't like it. What about dust in car? It's never really been a major problem, I guess. We park inside. I mean, this is just my own tier list. I can't make it universal. I got so much dust in there. Straight up. If you had a dusty car, couldn't you just roll down the windows for like 5 seconds when you're on the highway? I feel like that would clear you out real quick, right? No? I don't know. I feel like it could work. No joke, it kind of does. That's how you get well, I guess if there's like a truck hauling sand in front of you. Anyway, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm kind of neutral on it. Like, I do it very rarely, but it's not a hassle to do. I don't know. I might even put it up near the top of the list here. I feel like if you are doing this with a sponge and like out in the sun, you just love your car, which means that you probably find this therapeutic, right? Like, this has got to be the chore second most likely to be therapeutic. I don't know what the difference between this and this. This is pulling weeds. I've never done it. This is, what the hell is mulching? Mulching flower bed? You couldn't have just put all the lawn stuff in like one picture? I mean, it really does feel like a mouth tier list. They love their gardening. Don't get me wrong. I'm sorry, it just takes so much work to maintain the grounds of the tier list estate. J. Nichols 11. The sprawling acreage in front of the J. Nichols Manor. It requires so much outdoor upkeep. You wouldn't get it. I've lived in like a concrete jungle basically since I was basically 21, but then from like 17 to 21, I was a college student, so I wasn't mowing the damn lawn then. Let my landlord do it. Oh, NL, she was an 85-year-old lady. She could pay somebody to do it. We're paying $490 a month per bedroom for rent in a 7-bedroom house in 2007. She's getting like $4,000 a month in rent for this piece of crap house that was built in like 1917 out of a bunch of old mud. Just painted the mud. There's not even any drywall. Anyway, yeah, I don't know what mulching is, so goodbye. Doing the laundry. Laundry's always a little bit of a tricky one, okay? It's, if you have a washing machine and a dryer in your own house, it's really easy. Like, doing the laundry is probably the easiest chore. Folding the laundry kind of sucks. When people say like laundry is annoying, I genuinely think, I think you just swallowed the Procter and Gamble pill. The trick to doing the laundry is don't complicate things. The only separation of clothes you do is if like you've worn something nice recently, you check and make sure it's not like dry clean only, because you can ruin it pretty easily. But if you just wear like a normal kind of like routine, like average clothing, you just pile it all in the same washer. Like, maybe I might try to separate out denim so that you don't bleed the denim into other stuff, but like, you shouldn't be washing your jeans all that much. And you can wait until you got like, 4 pairs of jeans and run a quick load or something like that. Do you separate all the white clothes out? Not at all. I don't know if that's like antiquated Tide literature. I put all the clothes in the same washing machine. I wash it, on whatever the default setting is. There's no bleeding at all. And I've been doing the laundry for like 15 years. How are your shirts not pink? I don't wear white dress shirts. So, I mean, that might be part of it, but you have to separate clothes with cold water washing. I mean, I think I just wash everything on cold. And I don't know, it just works. I don't know what else to say. Like the towels, okay, towels we do on hot sometimes. Make sure you get like a mildew smell out of there. But everything else, I'm like, I don't think I genuinely don't think you need to separate it. I think you could if you wanted to, but I think you're just making life harder for yourself. I think it's kind of a scam. I do everything on hot and it just works. Yeah, I don't know why I guess maybe it's marketing or something, or maybe detergent technology has come a long way. But in university, I remember being like, oh, because you get like screwed up by the media, right? Oh, he doesn't even know how to do his own laundry. Oh, he's never done his own laundry before. It's 2 steps. You put the shit in the washer, and then you put soap in and run it. Literally, the setting is called like wash or normal. And then when it's done, you put it in the dryer and you hit normal, and then you take it out. Like, it's not rocket science. Anyway, so that being said, folding the laundry is kind of annoying. But folding the laundry, at least it's an easy chore to procrastinate, which is maybe for better or for worse. But you can also like watch something. Some of these chores you can listen to a podcast and that's cool. But with the laundry, you can actually like watch an episode of a TV show or something, or watch a stream while you're folding your laundry. It's not that bad. I don't love it, but I would put it in the don't mind it tier. Probably like right around the dishes, honestly. It's a chore that you can bundle with some leisure time. That's what I'm doing right now, watching you and folding the laundry. And you got to keep in mind, folding the laundry is the worst part of the laundry experience. Like this chore takes 2 hours, but like an hour and 45 minutes of it is literally just Maytag doing your job for you. Recycling. Now, recycling is a strange one. I can't believe we've been doing this for like an hour. Recycling is a weird one because it's worse than the garbage. Because the garbage, you just toss it into the compactor and you're good to go, or you put it in the can, you're good to go. The recycling, you have to separate it depending on where you live. There's different. If you move, you got to look up, oh, in the old place, we just put glass and cans in the same spot, but now you got to put glass and cans in different spots, and then paper doesn't go in with those, and blah, blah, blah. But you also get a little bit of a moral high. Like, like, do you smell that? Like, you're making the planet better. But also, like, you'd think that this would be grosser because you put gross stuff in the garbage. I actually feel like recycling, whenever I take it, is the way we have like a shared recycling facility. So when I take the garbage out, I'm just like, clunk, and when I put the recycling down, I go into a large room that is infested with maggots and fruit flies and stuff like that because it has like an organics area in it as well. Like it has a big composting sort of section. And I think when it gets hot, it's just inevitable that, like, how are you supposed to keep your compost from getting bugs in it? That's like the point, right? So it's inhospitable to be in the room. And then I always get pissed off. Like, let's throw composting in with recycling. Like, I get pissed off because, like, I'll open the compost lid and someone will have thrown out like a grocery bag, and then I gotta be like, I'm gonna reach in with like just 2 fingers because they're germ proof, and then pull out the grocery bag, and then I'm like, I'm gonna fucking run DNA evidence on this and figure out who you are, and I'm gonna put this shit in front of your front, and then I just go and I put it in the compactor instead. But in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna take this to a private lab and get like a PCR test done on the. And then, like, the recycling, can I just tell you, like, the worst part after that of the recycling is just that sometimes I'll be, like, one of the first people to put something in a bin. And then when I pour my recycling into the recycling, it's loud. A couple of glass bottles, some pesto jars or something like that. It kind of hurts my ears for a second, but it's not really that big of a deal. But I would say that I prefer taking the garbage out than the recycling. Like, I would say the recycling, I would lower it a tier. I would put it into neutral. It's not a huge difference between the two, but I do think the garbage is easier. Just because you don't have to do any separation, Oh, when people don't break down their boxes. It's got one big dumpster. It says flattened cardboard only on it. People will literally get like a delivered IKEA sectional and then just be like, I'm tired from putting it together, so I'm just going to shove it into the dumpster and take up like 80% of the space. All you got to do, you just got to go zoop, zoop, zoop. You put it in the dumpster, it takes up like, it's wafer thin. If you don't break it down, or the worst is like, they'll like clearly have stepped on it and like one corner is kind of like made lower, but it still takes up the exact amount of space. You're like, I'm going to run a DNA. Usually you don't even have to run a DNA test. They have no shame. Like they just leave like the shipping label on the side of it. Shit pisses me off, man. You got responsibilities. Anyways, that's all I got. And they put the boxes outside of the bins. Oh man, don't even. They put paper in the glass recycling, and they put glass in the paper recycling, or they just put their garbage, like a bag of garbage in the recycling room. And I'm like, what do you think? That someone comes here and goes like, sure, let me rip open this garbage and sort it out for you. Like, what is, just own the fact that you made trash and put it in the trash compactor. Just because you left it in the blue room instead of the room with the trash compactor doesn't mean you're recycling. It's probably all going to the same spot once it gets to the processing facility anyway, but still, man. It's crazy. Anyway, where was I? Making the bed, IMO, stupid chore. Uh, that for the most part, I don't get the value out of making the bed. I think it's a chore you do mostly for other people. However, let's include changing the sheets here. I love when the sheets are changed, and Kate will attest to this. I actually suck at changing the sheets. I do it from time to time. And it would, like, we change them often, but like sometimes I'll shoulder that mantle myself. Why does it suck for me? I'll explain, okay? Pillowcases, no problem. Fitted sheet, no problem. When it comes to putting the duvet into the new duvet cover, I suck at it. It gets bunched up, or sometimes, like what happened the other night, we were in bed and then Kate was like, why is the blanket messed up? And I was like, what are you talking about? And she was like, well, like, she held it up to the light, and then it was clear that I actually, the duvet cover was like portrait, but I had put the duvet in it somehow landscaped. So there was like a strip of blanket between our shoulders and our kneecaps, and then simply cover on the top and the bottom. And I was just like, I'm bad at it, and it takes me forever. But it is an important thing to do. I would rather not, though, I guess. Like, the value of this chore is obvious, but I would rather not do it. But I'm always happy to help. He doesn't know the inverted duvet cover trick. Turn it inside out. I'm really bad at visualizing three-dimensional space, but I'm going to try. Turn it inside out. Grab both corners of the duvet cover. Then grab the corners of the duvet and turn it right side in. See, already I have a problem, okay? Because we're talking about something that's a rectangle. You said turn it inside out and grab both corners. But there's 4 corners. So which 2 corners do I grab? It can't be any 2 corners. The inner corners? Doesn't that depend on your frame of reference? Inner corners. The 2 opposite the opening of the cover. Okay, I see. I'm starting to get there. Next time I'll give it a try, okay? People are like, how do you do it if you don't do that? It's like a spelunking expedition. I take the 2 corners of the duvet, and then I kind of like, I go put them into the duvet cover, and then I kind of climb in there with them. This is not a joke, by the way. And then I kind of like root around until I find like the first corner, and then there's like a little snap, and I snap it in, and then I root around to the other corner and try to snap it in. And then I pull the cover out, and then I try to find the other 2 corners. But then sometimes when I do it, by the time I get done, I look at it and I'm like, I buckled one of the corners into like the wrong spot, and it's all twisted up or something like that. Like, it's a disaster. I didn't know that's not how you're supposed to do it, honestly. And every time I do it, you know what I think? I'm like, the cleaning staff at hotels are actual warriors. Because it takes me like 15 minutes just to change a single duvet cover. And they're doing like, I don't even know, like 100 or 150 a day on top of cleaning the entire room in like less time than it takes me to actually just replace the duvet cover. That's insane. Like, they must have a trick. You're using the same technique since when you were 5? Yeah, but I only started being in charge of changing my sheets, like, when I went to university. And then even when I went to, university, I didn't have, like, a duvet with a cover and, like, an actual duvet inside of it. I just had, like, a comforter that I, like, never washed. Or when I washed it, I washed the whole thing. Like, I didn't take it out of an envelope or anything like that. kind of filthy. You're not wrong. It's kind of filthy. That was years ago. Okay, I can't believe we've taken so long here. Dylan, I'm going to wash this whole thing. Cleaning the bathroom. I think I differ from a lot of chat on this one. Every weekend. Vacuum, Swiffer, wet jet. Every day, mostly. Cook, dishwasher. Every couple of days, garbage recycling. Cleaning the bathroom is one of my favorite. I do it once every 2 weeks. I got like a... I don't find it that gross. I think it's gross if you don't do it that often. Like if you clean the bathroom only when it's disastrous. Like it's really easy. Like cleaning the toilet is the easiest thing in the world. You literally just like put the seat up, put the little thing around the rim, and the little blue lines come down like Death Stranding. Close the toilet lid, then you know, all-purpose cleaner, the outside of the toilet, all-purpose cleaner, the sink and the, what is it called? You know what I'm talking about. The vanity? Is that what's connected to the sink? You just wipe it down. And in the bathtub, you do a little scrubbing. You make sure you get the water mold and stuff like that, so it's clean. And then you literally just flush. You just use a toilet brush and flush it. And I love a chore that's not noisy, because you can listen to podcasts. Yeah, I don't have a problem cleaning the bathroom. That's it. Like a full stop. If you gave me the choice between vacuuming or cleaning the bathroom, I would clean the bathroom 100% of the time. And I think part of it is that it doesn't get gross if you clean it. But I can understand if you've got a dirty bathroom and you're like, procrastinating on cleaning it. I guess it can be gross too. But I don't know. I don't find cleaning the toilet gross. Because it's my crap, If there's like a little, like a little crap splatter here or there, this is my own poop. What am I going to do? Ew. It's better to be on the toilet than inside of your own body. You should try having a roommate. Oh, but when you have a roommate, then you share the cleaning duties. So at least if you have a good relationship with your roommate, you should be cleaning a proportional amount to the amount of people that are leaving crap splatter on the side of the toilet. So you're making X crap splatter and you're cleaning the bathroom X amount of times. And when you clean the bathroom, there's 2X crap splatter, but you're also only cleaning it half as often as you would if you were living alone. Facts don't care about your feelings. I think cleaning the bathroom, it's tough. It's somewhere between don't mind it and neutral. I'm going to be honest. I think I would rather... I think I'm like here for clean the bathroom. I wouldn't do it for pleasure. But it is like... also like... Did I mention the podcast? Also, they're all... Yeah, every surface in a bathroom is like a hard surface that's easy to clean. All you gotta do, you just spray and scrub, man. No big deal. Okay, I don't know what this is. This is just gardening. Is that what this is? Planting stuff? I'm going to be honest. I don't like doing it. Mouth, don't watch, okay? I think there will come a time in my life where I will grow into this. I think I could see myself taking the garden pill as I get a little older, or maybe get a little bit more space at some point. But right now, I actually almost like refuse it, to be honest. Last spring, when the pandemic was like 3 months deep, and we were like, I can't take it anymore. I need to get a hobby. We bought a bunch of gardening stuff at Canadian Tire. Ace Abroad. Thank you for the gifted subscriptions. Dodged. Uh, we bought, soil and whatever the fertilizer booster is. Oh, Handsome Pants TM. Thank you. You gave a subscription to Small Ant's mom. You look at that. Hello, lurkers outed. We bought the fertilizer. We bought seeds, and planters and stuff like that. And I thought I was gonna love it, and I hated it. I just did not enjoy it at all. I don't like a chore where you get dirty, I guess is really what it comes down to. And when you're gardening, you get dirty after while you're doing it. Watering the plants, not so much, but yeah, it's a dirty job and someone's got to do it. All of them? Well, I don't have to shower after I clean my bathroom. In fact, I can't shower. I just cleaned that. You don't have to shower after you take down the garbage unless you're fucking horrible at it. Maybe you got a hole in the bag or something like that. But, there's no getting around it with gardening. You got gloves on, but still. And then, so we planted all this stuff and we grew it. It was fine. Kate handled most of it, right? 99% of it. But then we had these plants and we were like, what the hell are we going to do with this? We were eating arugula for I don't even know. It felt like 3 weeks straight. And then we still ended up having to compost a bunch of it because we just couldn't eat it before it went bad. So I think that in the future with some lifestyle changes, I could be a garden head, but for now I don't find it enjoyable. Why'd you plant so much arugula? Because I didn't know what the hell I was doing, man. I didn't know. I was just just put the whole pack in there or whatever. Perhaps at some point. But right now I'm I'm not into it. Washing the dishes by hand, I'd rather not. And this pretty close to hate refuse it. We have a dishwasher. This is a chore that my wife handles. Can you listen to a podcast? Yes. However, the problem that I have with this is, first off, we have a dishwasher. So there's some things you have to hand wash, but by and large, most of the stuff is done by the dishwasher. But in situations where you don't have a dishwasher, which I've lived in for decades, it takes a long time to do this. It depends on your eating habits, I guess. But especially with a baby, there's a lot of stuff. Or if you've cooked for a company, it's a pain in the ass. Also, anytime I did it, Kate would just do it after me anyway, because she would be there's a little spot on the spoons, and then she would just do it again. So it was really I made a time donation to the chore god, and then received nothing out of it. So we agreed that this was a chore that essentially it is deleterious for me to do because my efforts are better served elsewhere, mindlessly hauling black bags downstairs into the trash compactor. But having a dishwasher has helped a lot. For the most part, I feel and this is true for a lot of chores, but I feel the worst part is just starting. The idea of being oh, I gotta do the dishes is annoying. But once you get a tablet set up or something on your phone that you can watch and listen to, then you're just doing it. You're just watching TV while also doing something productive, which is nice. But this is a hard one to start sometimes. Especially, it's one of the only chores that is the longer you leave it, the higher the barrier to entry gets to. Because if you get to the point where you have a sink full of dirty dishes, you're I need the sink to be empty so I can be comfortable doing the dishes. If you stay on top of it, I think it's unrealistic, if you live in a shared environment, to just wash everything immediately as soon as you use it. I get that, that's probably how it works in prison, but Or if you like just have one pan and one plate and one fork and you're like, that's just what I'm going to do. But if you end up with a sink full of dirty dishes, it's like it begets more mess in the future. Watering plants, I just don't do it, man. That's about it. I mean, all this plant related stuff, you can see that sort of stuff isn't my bag, baby. And then in-home organizing, I'd rather not. When you get it, like it's like a dopamine hit when you start to organize your desk. Like I don't know why I was going to phrase this like Gandalf. One does not simply clean their desk a little bit. Like my desk is either a disaster or it's immaculate. Because as soon as I start to tidy, I'm like, all this shit that has like not even been in my periphery for the last 6 months. I'm like, it's gotta go. It's gotta go. Get the crash lump of fruit. Why do I have a crash lump of fruit on this desk? It's so close to being spotless. Oh, Starbucks breakfast sandwich wrapper from earlier today. And why is there a hat on my desk? I don't need a hat when I'm streaming. I'm inside. Glasses cleaner. We could shove this into a drawer where like I could use it and maybe never get it ever again. Cantaloupe, what are you thinking, man? But in general, like this, again, this is more like Kate's, this is more Kate's, her vibe is the in-home organizer, which I'm thankful for. I would rather do it than vacuum. I don't know. I'm kind of looking forward to changing the sheet next time. Now that I know the secret for a duvet cover. So here, this took us like over an hour. That's sad. Best chores. Cooking. It's also a hobby. Cleaning the fridge. It feels nice to throw things away and to give up the inertia that they have on you and the power they have over you. And a clean fridge is awesome. It's a stress reliever. Sending mail, I'm just a fucking psycho freak, I guess, because I enjoy dropping things in the mailbox and imagining somebody picking them up and then bringing them to its destination, to seeing it go down the conveyor belt, tick, 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 and then gets sorted into a bucket, and then the bucket gets sent to a local or regional facility, and then it gets tick, 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 divvied out to the mail carriers, and then they get in their little trucks and go, beep, and then they go to my house, and I'm beep. Thank you for the birthday card. Don't mind it. Hey, feeding your pet. You got to do it. What do you want me to say? Paying the bills. Hey, you like having electricity? Go ahead and pay the bill. Dishwasher. Literally, even if it is a little annoying, it's 10 times easier than the old-fashioned way. The chore's so bad, we actually invented a machine to do it for us. Much like laundry, quite frankly. Sometimes doing the laundry can be annoying, but it's 10 times easier than taking your shit to a laundromat, or I don't even know, using one of those like scrubbing boards, like playing a bunch of songs with like a jug and some spoons on your knee. Disinfecting, not really a hassle. Cleaning the bathroom, podcast city, taking the garbage down. It's just hauling. That's about it. Mopping, superior vacuuming. Recycling, inferior garbage due to the recycling, but you do get a nice moral hit. Cleaning your car, I don't even really know why you have to do this, but there's many reasons that it doesn't necessarily suck to do. Mowing the lawn, kind of like shaving your house. Cleaning up pet doo-doo, again, what are you going to do? You gotta. Cleaning your windows, something I've added to my to-do list. I'd rather not change the sheets, but I'm looking forward to changing that now that I know how to put a duvet cover on without pretending that I'm going cave diving. In-home organizing, very feast or famine. You don't do it for 179 days, and then on the final day of the half of the year, you just go bananas. Vacuuming, too loud. Dusting. Just don't have dust, forehead. I don't even really know what this is. Cleaning up the yard. Okay, congratulations on, your sprawling manner. Washing the dishes by hand. Just annoying and has to be done every single day, whereas most of these are, like a once a week or less. I don't like to garden, but if you do, more power to you. And sweeping. Just analog vacuum. This is my tier list. Thank you for watching.